Something huge is happening for independent professionals right now. I mean, a truly fundamental shift. The old limits on what one person can accomplish are just evaporating. And it's all thanks to a totally new way of thinking about AI. In this explainer, we're diving into the core ideas from the book No Team Required by Dominic Banguis. And just so you know, that's pronounced Banguis.
I mean, that's the opening line of the book, and it just hits you, right? It's basically saying, hey, all those old rules you thought you knew about what it takes to compete, yeah, you can go ahead and forget them. The game is different now.
For decades, if you were a solo consultant, a freelancer, you knew there was a hard ceiling. You could be the best in the world at what you do, build amazing relationships, but you could never, ever compete with the sheer manpower and volume of a big agency. You were always limited by the number of hours in the day.
Well, that fundamental limitation, that ceiling, has been absolutely shattered. And right now, we're going to break down exactly how.
Okay, so to really get this, let's first take a quick look at that old reality. What was this competitive gap that solo pros were always trying to jump over?
This table lays it out pretty clearly. A solo practitioner, their advantage was always low overhead and that high-level personal judgment. That was their secret sauce. But they always lost on output volume and delivery speed. An agency could just throw more bodies at a project, get it done faster, and produce way more. That was the trade-off you had to accept.
And then, almost overnight, everything changed with AI becoming accessible to everyone. But here's the key, not in the way most people think. This is about so much more than just having a chatbot to play with.
You can literally pinpoint the exact moment the landscape shifted. November 30th, 2022. The launch of ChatGPT wasn't just another tech release. It was an earthquake. 1 million users in 5 days. I mean, think about that. That was the beginning of the end for that old agency advantage.
But here's the catch, and maybe you felt this yourself. A lot of professionals tried these new tools and were kinda underwhelmed. They treated AI like a glorified search engine, asked it a simple question and got a pretty generic, bland answer back. They were just scratching the surface.
And this brings us to the absolute heart of the matter. Leveraging AI effectively isn't a tool problem, it's a thinking problem. The real magic happens when you make a mental shift from thinking like an employee to thinking like an operator.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly. On the left, you've got the employee mindset, basically stuck on the hamster wheel of daily tasks. But on the right, you have the operator. The operator steps back. An employee sees a repetitive task and just does it. An operator sees that same exact task and asks, how can I build a system so this happens automatically forever? That is the core change.
And this leads to this incredibly freeing concept the book calls the upstream shift. Look, AI can handle the production part, the first drafts, summarizing research, all that grunt work. This frees you up to move upstream, to focus your energy on the high-value stuff your clients are really paying you for, your strategy, your judgment, your expertise. You're not losing control, you're getting a promotion.
So, okay, this operator mindset sounds great, but how do you actually make it a reality? How do you turn this way of thinking into a practical system you can use every day?
The book lays out a super simple but really powerful 3-part framework. First, you brief. This is where you do all your thinking up front, defining exactly what great looks like. Then, you build, using AI as your partner to generate the raw output. And finally, and this is the most important part, you review. This is where your human expertise comes in to polish, edit, and elevate the work to a professional standard. And this image here just illustrates it perfectly. This isn't just one idea, it's a whole operating system. You see the brief, build, review cycle for quality control, plus the other key frameworks and a focused tech stack, all working in harmony to turn you into a true operator.
You know, a huge part of this is just resisting that urge to chase every new shiny tool that comes out. The book makes a great case for building a lean AI stack. That means going deep on just a few core tools that get the job done. Maybe Claude for language, something like NN for automation, and Perplexity for research. You master these instead of getting distracted by the app of the week.
So when you combine that operator mindset with these systems and the lean stack, something really profound happens. You stop competing on how many hours you can bill, you start competing on leverage.
And you can actually map out this journey. The AI maturity model here shows how you move from stage 1, where you're just using AI reactively, all the way to stage 5, where AI becomes a core part of your practice. It becomes a true differentiator, giving you leverage that your competition just can't match.
And let's talk about the bottom line, because the results are very real. Practitioners who use these systems are reporting a 40 to 60% drop in production time. So what does that mean? Well, it means a practice that used to be capped out at, say, 4 clients can now easily handle 6 with the same or even better quality. We're talking a potential 50% revenue boost without working a single extra hour.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. This isn't some far-off future. This is happening right now. The smart competitors are already building their systems, creating their leverage, and blowing past that old ceiling. So the only question left is, what will you build?